refrain?
Yep, I'll be in there.
Do it live. All right.
We're doing it live.
Fuck
Okay.
yeah.
So did you tell Ron that you got a little loose structure?
A little bit. We wrote down some topics. Do you have anything you want to add beyond Blind Spot and Walking Dead?
Danger 5.
No, I've not been Danger 5 in it, so.
Danger 5.
HotYoungDudes.com?
No. What's that?
Well, work on it.
Pennsatucky.
We have
The Bearded
Bearded Wonder.
That's right.
Gorgeous Greg. Face for radio.
Gorgeous Greg.
Oh,
Is that authorized?
Oh, Greg.
Radical Ron and me on the podcast.
Rises to the top.
We are to the top. We are going to do the live broadcast on Periscope. See how that goes.
Okay.
Hashtag Periscope.
Hashtag Periscope. So
Did you just state the Ferris,
Right,
Texas?
big text them.
You big text us?
Big text them.
I big text all the time. You want to start it off? Snippets, news?
Hey, yeah. Because we're going to talk about UFC later, right?
Yep, just in a minute.
Oh, sorry, Brian. Sorry your girlfriend got axed there.
Shook her that.
So we got a lot.
We got. What you need?
So cable companies
No.
are they're so scared of Netflix that they're actually starting to show fewer ads because they think that's what's bothering people. Not the amount of choice. You didn't want to watch 200 sessions of ESPN?
No, I didn't.
No, it's cost. They don't want to see.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. So, but they think, well, it's obviously the ads because they can't like fast forward through them on.
Yeah, that's been done like years ago. It's a little late to the game on that. About 15 years.
Yeah.
So let's just have less of them and charge double the price for our ads.
Oh, so what are you drinking? What beer is that?
I got Infamous Hijack.
Because from here it looks like a Country Time lemonade.
It does look like a Country Time lemonade.
That is
that cool, refreshing drink.
It's quite delicious. It's
I'm having an
untraditional cream ale from Austin, Texas.
Untraditional. Is it artisan and handcrafted?
Is it infused?
I should
with
just say
anything?
something about my types of beers.
It's imbued with.
I'll get you an IPA
metals.
in a little bit.
Okay. Infused, whatever. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a lovely crystal clear Ozarka spring water. Brought to you by Ozarka.
Ozarka, you owe us $25.
Brought to you filtered from the public water system.
I'm gonna wait on the beer one round here.
Alright, I'm drinking a tan line, vanilla rum and coke.
I am having the same.
Alright, there we go. I just wanted to get that out of the way in case there was anyone wondered, because I did think you were drinking a Country Time.
That's kind of that way.
Did you hear that, sponsors?
No, Country Time wants to donate a few cases.
PepsiCo, whoever owns their ass.
Yeah.
So on this whole thing about less ads, that's because that's really what's important. On a recent earnings, I got this off of Business Insider. On a recent earnings call, Time Warner CEO pledged to chop its ad time in half for primetime shows starting next year or the year after that, maybe. And on its channel, True TV, TRU TV. I don't even know what that is.
Highly watch.
I don't know what
Well, that's why they're cutting the ad time in half on it because nobody's gonna. It's like, well, we can't lose revenue. So there we go. So True TV is a channel focused on reality programming.
I thought it was a crime thing.
Yeah, it's marketed toward younger viewers.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's
That's what it says.
shitty.
Yeah.
14 and pregnant. Oh, they're going to run 16 and pregnant? Well, we'll run 14 and pregnant.
Well, and it said, well, they're actually, I guess they're being serious about this because it's marketed towards younger viewers, which apparently Time Warner is most scared of losing, except for cost. I mean, millennials are living in droves with their parents and can't pay off their $2 million education.
Their college debt.
Yeah, college debt. So
Yeah.
they got their eye on the ball.
They're qualified to run the Large Hadron Collider, but they can't do the...
They can't balance their
They
check.
can't balance their checkbook.
Yeah. So
The Large Hadron Collider, we did a bit on that last week.
yeah, it was like Is it vaguely sexual?
Hard-ons
These
circling in
hard-ons.
opposite directions at near the speed of light, colliding.
And then they see what
It's like sci-fi porn.
and then
Primal or something.
it's like the hardest docking you've ever seen. little mini dick particles flying off. The charm strange, bent, curved.
Top and bottom.
That's right. Circumcised, uncircumcised. I mean, all these
Sword fight.
good ones. Yeah, sword fight.
Blue ones and new ones.
So if this gambit works, Time Warner will extend the strategy to other channels like TBS, TNT, and CNN. Executives told Bloomberg. So there we go. We know one of the benefits of an ecosystem we know one of the benefits of an ecosystem like Netflix is its lack of advertising. Howard Schimmel, a chief research officer at Time Warner. Officer, I was not drinking. Consumers are being trained that there are places they can go to avoid ads. Skip them. Or I'll put ad block like on my browser. I haven't seen an ad since 2006.
What do you think is ads?
Every time I get on
Americans love the new cable system with less ads. I'll pay more if it's less ads.
It speaks to me. It speaks to me.
It speaks to me.
Yeah, so broad consumer opinion does seem to have shifted away from ads.
Fuck 'em.
Who sits there? It's like, no, I want to see the CX commercial. Because this is only the 15th time today.
Somebody working at the large hard-on collider. That's hard to say.
You're more likely to say it correctly than incorrectly because you've been trained by these ads, man.
Hard-on collider.
Yeah, when we was talking about the particle colliders last week, because they was going to build one in Waxahachie, but it got about $2 billion in, and then Congress was said, that's enough money. So they stopped it, and one of the scientists said is this large cleared field surrounded by a ring of small disappointed towns. Because they was expecting that. We're in the money, hard-on collider.
Sorry, nope.
It's like, so there we go.
Correct.
Yeah, so
Cows and alfalfa.
I thought that was interesting, and I guess they said they did market research, so I just don't see that. That's not why people watch Netflix. Netflix.
Yeah, I can only watch 4 or 5 in a row.
You don't even have to flick them; you can just graze them. It's enough pain. So I don't see that. It doesn't seem like they're getting it. Is that's not the point. The point is that they want their choice. They want a la carte choice to pick the stuff they like, and there's a lot of stuff they like on Netflix.
I know what I like.
And there was this.
Scoops.
And where was it? There was something. Oh, tied to that. Netflix expects to spend $5 billion on content in 2016. $5 billion.
That's billion with a B.
With a B. Yeah.
Wow.
$1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So Netflix is worth nearly $50 billion on the public market. They have nearly 70 million subscribers. This is off of extremist.com. EXTREAMIST.com. Extreme. Get it?
Extreme?
Get it? Got it?
So,
yeah.
Something about it, want to hear it.
Yeah. It continues to grow with each new country where Netflix becomes available, and they got competitors, but they're going to spend $5 billion. That's a lot of scratch. And I'm assuming it's not all new content. I'm assuming it's biased for shows coming out. I mean,
it's going to be
Disney Marvel is going to be releasing about 80 movies. So,
Right,
they're going to have to buy that.
Yeah, they need to restock their shitty movie selection on Netflix.
Yeah.
Man, I could foresee a day where like Netflix almost has no movies on it. Like, why spend the money
It's
on
garbage.
Right.
Nothing's.
Just do their own content.
Yeah.
And shows they buy.
They're starting to do their own movies now. You don't want to fuck with it.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. Is that everybody's jumping on that bandwagon? Everybody, Amazon's into it. Seems like they're starting to focus a little bit more on it. I noticed this morning I was watching. We'll talk about it in a little bit. I didn't even know it came out. The second episode of Man in the High Castle. I watched it this morning. It's really good.
Getting ready for all of it. There's like how many another dozen episodes going to be released on November 20th.
Yeah, next Friday. This next Friday. Because that's what made me think. Oh, I'll have to go see if rewatch episode 1, and then I noticed they had episode 2 out. And I didn't even know. Nobody sent me the memo.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That was Brian's responsibility.
it's really good. The second episode was really good.
I'm on it next time though.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I noticed on Amazon that they're putting up it's pilot season for Amazon Prime right now, and they're putting up free that you can watch just one episode of these new pilots that they're testing out of some different shows.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, and you can vote on them, and possibly your votes will count towards what they actually.
Looking for like viewer feedback on which shows green light more.
Yeah, they have it up in the upper left, that big box in the upper left once you get.
Yeah, hasn't it? Last time it was online voting or some shit like that, right?
I think so.
Downloads or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. So Netflix CEO in this Extremist article said Reed Hastings said that he hopes to see Bollywood and anime original shows joining the service in the coming years because they're expanding to other countries.
Right.
And Bollywood is
Huge.
China.
China.
Yeah, and talk about a douchebag. This whole, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about the whole thing that happened, the terrorist attacks in Paris. And what's the first thing the Republicans do is they come trotting out.
Yeah, if all the French people had guns, then that would have been not a big deal.
If everybody had guns, and nobody would have guns.
And it's all Obama's
Wait a
fault.
second.
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks, Obama. Thanks. He refused to authorize the Keystone Pipeline, and look what happened.
That's right.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, we were just gonna acknowledge that put on and it sucks and that.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, is 89 people killed at that
The
concert?
Eagles of Death Metal
Yeah,
concert.
yeah.
And I think I saw where
One
one
of
of
their
them.
manager got killed. I think.
Well, yeah, it was their actual manager.
Oh, really? What they're
Yeah, one of their managers got killed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
89 people. American student got killed. I think she was at college.
California somewhere.
Yeah, she was a design student. She was over there just for one semester, just doing a semester abroad.
Just happened to get that show.
Just happened.
Wrong, right.
Yeah,
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Stupid.
yeah. Very coordinated attack from what it sounds like. So a lot of they're thinking that most of these guys were French nationals
Mm-hmm.
in the
You're like all over
in the Muslim
Syria,
community that
trained
went
in
over,
Syria.
trained, and came back, and they had a highly, because that's what they was talking about on the news this morning, is that it's been largely lone wolf operations. It's like, hey, you want to do something, go do it.
Right.
Don't expect
Feel
us
free.
back.
Feel free.
There's no front money.
Yeah.
But this is an extremely sophisticated attack. They did drive-by with Kalashnikovs and at that one cafe, and then they went in to storm that theater, and they all had suicide bomb vests, and they were all
Explosive
naked.
vests
Yeah, so very highly coordinated.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. So
Idiots.
our thoughts go out to the families and the victims, of course, of that.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any more news?
Oh, I do. I always got news. I got news.
All right. Well, hit us another news, and then we'll shift over and talk about my girlfriend.
Oh, okay. You tell you like blind spot?
No.
She's my
No guessing. No guessing.
Any guys, any fake moms?
Yeah.
Okay. So
He transitioned.
yeah. That's an awkward transition. I was talking about a different subject, not wiener replacement. So YouTube and Facebook videos causing issues for content owners. So the monetization of eyeballs, not for me because I block all my ads, can cause.
You contribute nothing.
I'm like.
You're a taker, sir.
It's like I'm on.
So what do you do with YouTube
I'm on
videos?
government cheese. What am I doing?
What do you do with YouTube videos that are monetized? Do you like not see them at all because of your ad blocker?
No, I just don't see my ad blocker blocks the ads. If it's
Even if it's on a YouTube video that has them built in?
yeah. Well, if it's built in, but if it's one of the things that you can skip, it skips. It does. It skips. It skips it, so I love it. I have not seen that ad. I'm serious. I saw it one time when I was over here. I was looking at Brian's browser. He was showing me something like Warcraft or something video. I was like, what is this strange world of all these pop-ups and shit?
The sidebar ads.
And Brian said, they know me. They know what I want to look at.
That's right.
That's right.
Like,
Targeted
it's
advertising.
like, how many ads for dildos can you have? So yeah, this article is talking about, you search for any famous song except for Prince songs. You cannot find Prince songs on YouTube at all.
You like pull them all?
He's got like a little army of people who's like, nope, remove. He's very litigious.
He's got the Jehovah's Witnesses working for him too.
Could be.
Yeah, they're lawyers anyway.
Yeah. So
I remember this.
as piracy makes these people millions of dollars repurposing content and monetizing with ads. So they're talking basically about people that are remixing stuff and getting a lot of viewers, and then they're running ads, and then that's when the copyright issues
Right.
are.
Money off of the reward.
Yeah, and Facebook. I saw another article about this. Facebook, they were touting recently all their like millions of views of videos, but what they're doing is they're sort of piggybacking off of YouTube, and so YouTube's not getting the clicks, and they're just piping it into the Facebook system.
It into Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's a view on there? Because a lot of the videos will just automatically play on your phone as you're scrolling down.
Exactly, that's what they was talking about. They said that if you saw like a second and a half of it, as you scroll past it and start playing, that's a view. So it's like, you want to talk
Without
about
sound, it's just playing.
Yeah, the casino is rigged, my friends.
It's bullshit.
But people are paying for that, and if somebody's like, oh, okay, cool.
I get it.
100,000 people saw my ad. Not really.
Yeah.
They didn't even see it. They
more
just
like 20,000.
Yeah,
they
should
saw it play for a millisecond.
They should do
playing as I was scrolling by.
Yeah, they should do a metric on like if people speed up scrolling.
No, I think it's a brilliant idea because you scroll by and it might not be something you had any interest in really seeing on the video. So like we wouldn't click on it, but yet when you see it playing as you're kind of scrolling by, hey, wait a minute, that was kind of interesting. It kind of catches your eye, and you're like, okay, let me see it with the sound.
Exactly, the sound is on, so you can just be sitting on the shitter, just
Yeah,
that is your baby crying.
Yeah.
Vice was
I would
reporting.
be that call.
Copyright.
That's right, copyright on shopping.
As I scroll past it. Vice is reporting that things have gotten extremely tricky for those who upload their content to YouTube, as freebooters, as they're called, have learned how to quickly download popular YouTube videos and re-upload them to Facebook to capture those valuable eyeballs. So they're basically, and it's the Wild West out there. It's like, oh, hey, PewDiePie, you got 40 million subscribers and your videos get like 4 million views per. It's like, we'll just download that and throw it up on Facebook and then I'll monetize it. Okay, sounds like it. Sounds like my kind of money.
It seems very technically challenging thing to not allow that. Like once it's, how are you going to track all that down?
Well, and that's exactly what they say next in this article off of Extremist, is that Facebook has commented that they plan to try and minimize the piracy, but if YouTube has taught us anything, that is an incredibly difficult task, and if Google hasn't cracked that nut, what makes Facebook, I think they're paying lip service, they don't care as long as they're making money.
Right.
And they're like, they'll protest them. You're right.
There's got to be somebody, because they can do it with music. Like if you try to upload copyrighted music to Facebook, it scans it and it knows what it is and then it blocks it. They should be able to do the same thing with videos, but there's a million more videos, a million times more videos than.
Now, how do you copyright it? It's on YouTube, free for use. How do you kind of police that?
Yeah, and especially things like, think about sporting events when you have so many camera angles. Like, is it you're going to recognize every single angle that this is, so.
Well, I came home, before I got home last night, I watched the Rousey fight 3 more times on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that because we're talking, hi, everybody Periscope, you can do it. You can have literally 360-degree view of Rousey getting her neck cracked.
Right.
Go to the home chiropractor clinic, and you can literally have a 360-degree view because people are just sitting there live broadcasting.
Right.
And I caught the end of that fight last night on Periscope.
Right.
And people were off their TV,
Right.
and it's like, man, I feel like I'm watching scrambled satellite porn a little bit. Like early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. What's going on?
That's a good flashback for you. All right, so that's a good transition to UFC.
Okay.
So yeah, it was. She lost last night. She got her ass beat.
Who got?
Miss
You
Rousey.
got.
Ronda Rousey.
Hold on a second.
Knocked out.
Distance, keep far away from me, get me frustrated to a point I'll make a mistake. She try to kick me in the head. That's not cool like that.
Oh, yes, it will.
It did.
It went exactly like that.
Yeah, and she did a little chicken. I think that was like Jimmy Fallon or something like that. Then she did a little chicken neck thing, and then last night, man, she got kicked so hard. I literally thought I saw a vertebrae.
Yeah, my back hurt today. So
Yeah.
we're watching it.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep, man. I had to get the mentholatum. It's like, man. Brought to you by the letter S, or also known as Ronda Rousey's neck.
Yeah. It was crazy, man. It was the one thing like that. Her weakness is if somebody can keep her distance and she can't get him to the ground. And Holmes had great takedown defense, and she did get her to the ground down one time, and maybe 10 or 15 seconds, and it was back up. And then she did exactly
smartly so.
And her boxing skills help her keep her at a distance.
Yeah.
Well,
she was
jabbing in the face.
and doing a lot of Mayweather. It was a lot of jabs and runs, and but she did keep her distance. She did frustrate her. She did force her to make mistakes.
Wore her out.
Yeah.
Absolutely wore her out.
You
Just
could tell
making her run around the ring after her.
You could tell like Rousey came out so jacked up. That huge adrenaline dump makes your heart rate go really high. Your breathing and heart can't sync. She was exhausted at the end of the first round.
And she's very Rousey
She's
has
super athletic.
She's super athletic and she's super strong. So I don't want anybody to take this wrong, but she looked bulked up. And
That's what she looked like she always does.
She looked even more so. I was like, man, she taking HGH or something. She came in and she looked.
She weighed 134 or 134 pounds.
She looked massive, and not in a bad way. I mean, she looked. I'm not talking fat, but she looked something.
Yeah.
So I thought about this whole thing about Floyd Mayweather should, they were saying should she fight him? It's like no, because that's the way Mayweather fights.
Yeah.
So we had the answer to our
Got
question.
beat by
Mayweather would have killed her. I mean, except that Mayweather can't defend against a takedown.
Right.
And Holly did very.
Oh yeah.
I knew that Holly Holm was really tall. I was surprised how tall she was.
She's only an inch taller than Ronda.
Man, she looked way
It's
taller.
just the way she's built. Ronda's a little bit taller, kind of squatty, shorter legs,
So she had longer reach.
longer midsection. No, it's an inch taller, an inch reach, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because she was peppering her with that left.
Just
She was sticking her in the mouth with that left.
Yeah.
She did.
Her mouth, Rousey's mouth looked like a Rorschach test.
I know. Well, even at the end of the first round, and she'd only been hit 3 or 4 times, but then she got a bunch of feet right to the face, and then that big kick. It was bad.
Yeah.
She's gonna be, but it was so Dana was on talking last night, Dana White, and she's got a movie to go shoot. She's got a bunch of stuff, and then basically whenever she wants, she can come back and say, I want a title fight.
Yeah.
But basically, that's kind of what the champs do is take some time off and then come back and ask for a title fight again.
Yeah, because she's been, and I mean, Rousey is an incredible athlete. So I mean, as a fighter, I like her. I think that a little part of me wondered if she started buying into her own hype.
Oh yeah, how can you not?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I'm stronger than you, I'm sexier, and all these commercials and stuff that she's doing, and it's like, and Holly Holmes is in the gym.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they
It's
asked
like a reverse Rocky movie.
Dana right after if they felt like all that distractions, and he was like, how could it not? It's no excuse, but how could that not intervene and get in the way of your training, your camp, and everything you're trying to get accomplished?
Dana said, "That was the breaks. I got paid."
Yeah. and what's funny is, you remember Patrick Gray?
Yeah.
So I was doing this a little bit of a rant last night, talking about how Dana's always BFFs with whoever the champ is at any one time, and then he's like, "Oh, they're gone. That person's gone."
Yeah.
So I said something tomorrow, or like tomorrow he'll wake up and have a new BFF after Ronda lost, and that's what Patrick put on Facebook tonight.
Yeah.
He'll be all snuggled up next to Holmes tomorrow. They'll be BFFs forever.
Yeah. Man, that was amazing, and it's I keep on thinking of all the run up to this fight that Joe Rogan doing that. It's like she's the best in history. Well, I don't know anymore. and they talked her up so much that man, when she got cracked.
They did talk her up, but
They talked her up way. I mean,
totally
they
legitimate.
well up until.
Until she got an adjustment.
There's never been anyone that's been as dominant in the ring.
Yeah, that's true.
That
just made me laugh a little bit because they always like she is actually from Xenu.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the American way, right? We build someone up and then we joyously, riotously, clap when they are tore down. That's kind of what we do.
It's like Cowboys fans. It's like if they're winning. If they're not, those bums.
Yeah, but we just love that.
Like
other countries don't get, like with our sports and movie stars and entertainers and all that stuff, why we are so entertained by their demise on the other side. But for sure, she got to come up. It's a lot of trash talking.
Yeah. And
got served in the ring.
There was a ton. I showed y'all that one. Somebody took the Radiohead, the Benz album cover is that CPR dummy, and then when her getting her neck cracked
with the foot,
and it looks and runs, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, I said, wow, it looks a lot like the original.
Yeah, that's good. So because there's the original,
right? Yeah,
and
yeah, I had to look at it close when I first got it. I'm like, wait a minute, that looks
and
right.
And I was like, that's really good because I was just listening to that album last night. I told Ron, I was like, man, I wish I would have thought of that. I could have photoshopped that easy. And there was this other one that says, if you see this while scrolling past the first page, you have been visited by the drowsy Rhonda of Sleepy Time. And it's got that head kick, but it's got a pillow and a little blanket over it. It's like, good dreams and rest will come to you, but only if you post good night, Sleepy Rhonda in this thread. Drowsy Rhonda, Sleepy Time. So there we are, tearing her down.
Tearing her down, see? That's how we do. Build up, tear her down. And then wait, Holly will be for a while, she'll be the golden child and everybody loves her. And then as soon as she's on top, everybody, man, I'm sick of her. I just can't wait till somebody beats her ass.
And Holly is like 32.
She's older, yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't know. Like, she's won, I'm going to make up a number, but it's like 6 world boxing champions.
I think it's like 16.
It's like every female.
Yeah, undisputed.
Yeah. Like 6. And no one's ever done it before. And kickboxing.
Yeah.
So boxing and kickboxing. So she's not, no one's ever heard of her, but she's not like a newbie. She's been doing it for like 20 years.
Yeah. No, I mean, she's now, 10-0? She's undefeated as well. I think it was a 16-0 versus 9-0 going into it.
Yeah.
And so she's going to be the next Ronda, and they're going to start dissecting all the things that she does very right. It will probably get to the point that, unlike a Floyd Mayweather that's able to sustain it and stay undefeated throughout his whole career, because he runs away like that.
Yeah. What'll be interesting is who they fight her, who they match her up with next.
Floyd Mayweather. I would love to see that.
I wanted so bad to see anybody beat his ass.
She's Holly's in there distracted, and then Rhonda comes in from behind and snaps his head.
Jokes him out.
Shh, only
Because like last night's the classic striker versus a wrestler, grappler, jiu-jitsu person. So it'll be interesting to see who they pair her up with. And hopefully she can run a couple of title defenses off in a row before somebody gets to her. But
I hope she has a good run because it was sort of nice to see how thrilled she was, and when they were interviewing her after the emotion, and she was so thankful to the people, her coaches, and the people, her training partners, and her husband. And you could really see the emotion. And Daniel Cormier, he congratulated her, and her eyes started warming up. And I think he was chopping onions, I think, a little bit on set. So it was really gratifying to see somebody before the world destroys her,
And they will.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk. Well, I think I'm the only one watching Heroes, right?
Yeah, I saw that you were really liking it.
It's all,
why did I miss that?
It's all DVR. Is it getting better?
It is, and so I want to. There's no spoilers, but I want to tell you how I feel like they've landed one of the most complex plot things that I've seen in a show in a long time. Okay, so see how I can best describe this.
How many episodes is it?
I think it's like next week's is the last one. It's like 8 or 9. I mean, they spend a lot of money on them, so.
Right.
And I think they'll do like a half break thing. So, okay, timeline wise, right? Because it's all about time travel and stuff. So time's going along, an event happens. A year after that event,
They decide to fix it.
they travel back in time trying to fix it. So you watch that year. You watch that year progress, and in about a year in is when the story starts. Like after the event, you get some flashbacky type stuff to set the context enough. So then you watch about 5 episodes of how it's going, right? So you see all the build up, you see everything happening, and there's storylines, and there's these people are on this side, these people on this side, and they're choosing radically different ways.
Radical on different ways.
Yeah, to save the world. They're going about, one you would say is kind of good, and the other you would say is kind of evil. But at the end of the day, they both want to save the world, right? So that these two clans are clashing. One is mostly
Clash of Clans.
yeah. One is mostly regular humans with the help of some of the fairly powerful superhero type guys, and the other is almost all superhero type people. So it's going along, and then they decide to travel back. They travel back. Some stuff happens. It never goes according to plan, right? Some what's his name? Hero, the Hiro. Hero is traveling back and forth.
Right.
And
well, facilitates the time.
right, and so he's really worried about the butterfly effect. They go back in time. It screws a bunch of stuff up. He goes forward in time to see how things are, and he comes back and he just goes, too many butterflies. Right? And so it sticks in the past for a couple episodes, and then it goes back into the original time where all this stuff happens. But now everything's changed. So people are on different sides. So the whole context you've built around what's going on, who's on whose side, and everything like that is different. And now you're having to re-explore this world with the
characters. J.J. Abrams Star Trek timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's super cool. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's not super actiony, but well, they do a good job too of not overusing the superpower thing. I think this time.
They got a little crazy during the writer's strike.
Yeah.
The first series.
And they're also not using, only a couple times. Remember, if you remember the first 2 seasons, it was just Heroes. How heavily they leveraged the comic book and the guy that was doing art, how that was predicting this, that, and the other thing. That's vaguely referenced, and it's not in the front of the story. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, having a good time, man. I liked it. I'm glad I watched the whole thing.
Are they using footage from the original series for any time travel flashbacks? Or
No.
No, it's all new.
It's all new.
Huh?
Not anything that I've noticed.
Yeah.
Save the cheerleaders, save the world.
Well, they're still trying to save the world, but there's not a cheerleader
They're
involved.
Hayden Pantieri.
Yeah, she opted not to be in the new hero.
Well, she's got that huge other show going on. And
Nashville.
They're never going to be able to pay her enough to come back to do this.
Yeah.
But you got the whole thing DVR?
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're going to like it, man.
And he's going to crack that time capsule in
2017.
And also, I would
the new
encourage
president.
you to watch it with Scarlett, because there's nothing, there's some violence to it. There's
Yeah.
some people get shot and stuff, but it's not anything gory.
Yeah.
She'll love it.
Yeah.
She'll love it.
There's a lot of,
People getting chopped up.
I think she'll like the Katana Girl part of it. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I just wanted to go over that, just like the timeline piece. I thought that was super cool, the way they go after the 2 big flashback episodes where they go back and try to rectify this event. Then when they come back, things have changed.
So they can go into new uncharted territory.
Yeah. And it's generally headed in the same direction. But it's cool too how the things you're curious about in the present day that they don't really explain, when they go back in time, those things get explained in detail. Everything starts to fit together. I thought it was a pretty cool unveiling process. Plus, then they go back in the future and all these things have changed. And
Every episode you go, oh, that's the point of the show.
I'm actually getting lost the way that timeline's set up. So
a little bit, and they did that originally in Heroes, but when Hero got got stuck in that samurai time. God, it was an ass whip.
Yeah, that wasn't it. That was about the time I was tuning out. I was like,
Episode after episode of watching him stuck back in samurai days. And
What's that whole body language thing? If somebody's standing there talking to you and their feet are pointing away from you, that's body language that about the balance. I was doing that on my TV during that time. I was like, my Xbox with Kinect. It's hey, there you go. It's like,
into the kitchen.
I'm gonna go make a sandwich in Connecticut. So yeah.
But I did watch like 3 or 4 episodes in a row the other night, man. I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
Look at you, binge watching.
Well, I went hard at it on the next show that we'll talk about, but
That's what she said.
yeah. That was I wanted so desperately to watch that last episode. I was just like, well, this in a little bit. And my sister sat there and watched the whole thing with me because she loves, and she's seen season 1 and 2, and so I was starting season 3 in Blacklist,
Right.
and we tore that up. All right, yours is in the books. You need to watch it. You're gonna like it. Don't wait on Ginger.
No.
She's not gonna
watch it anyway. So yeah, that's all me.
Just cliff note it. Download it and throw it into the
Like
program
Dude.
DLC and watch it at like 3 times speed. And
Yeah. That'd be cool.
you never know.
No. I'll get to it.
All right, Greg, you had a show.
I do. Let's call an audible for a second because there's 45 seconds left in Detroit, so up by 8 and might win.
Who are they playing?
Playing Green Bay.
Come on, Green Bay.
Go first.
Third day.
Sound like a true line.
I don't have much to cheer for with this
Every
team.
day, twice on Sunday.
So what was that game the other day that was on where the teams were wearing all red and all green?
Oh, that was Bills versus the Jets.
Yeah.
Bills. So colorblind people were pissed after that.
I didn't watch that because I'm red, green, and somebody was showing me a picture on that, and they'd taken a picture and put it on their Facebook, and at work they said, "Hey Paul, what colors do you see?" I said, "There's green field." And then there's
the rest of it, right?
I'm not like a canine. So if it's really saturated and it's large swatches of the color, I got it.
Yeah.
If it starts getting a little muddy or if it's a little smaller and it's like, what was that? Chartreuse? What is
Awesome. I'm gonna get us all some shirts printed up, and they're gonna say "fuck Paul" on it.
it's in that like that circle with the right with it, and I'm like, hey,
Nice.
What is that?
Oh, I got you this shirt. I got one wearing around everywhere.
is that pointillism?
You can buy a shirt just now. I like the little one.
It's like, and you give the shirt, you give the shirt to me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like I got my ass beat on the dark train today. What happened?
Yeah. It'll be like Frank's shirt off of Shameless. What did he say? I'm a retard. Beat up by down.
I'm a retard. And so am I.
You're making fun of us.
That's funny. Have you seen Shameless?
I've seen just the previews for it. I haven't actually seen it.
I haven't.
Looks awesome.
It's cringe funny. I watched
It is phenomenal. It's great, man.
Out on the back deck one day.
Hey, has Detroit lost yet? This is the longest.
40 seconds. I know.
Well, 40 seconds can go on for like 10 minutes.
I know. That's why I was like, call an audible, and if we want to go to another show, or we can.
He's like, so
No, let's make for
see that
line somewhere.
See that little tear coming down.
Yeah.
You can make if we lose, we're almost guaranteed the first pick in the draft. If
Well,
we
no,
win,
the
it's-
Cowboys now.
Yeah.
two-
But they only have one win. We're
Yeah, you guys see, you have
Yeah.
injuries to.
But do you know how many wins did the Lions have?
Two, one. This
It's
would be
one.
number 2.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's what we tied.
You have an excuse. You have injuries, and yeah, we have all of our starters. We're talking about this. We're just garbage. So.
Yeah.
So is Romo out for the season?
No. He comes back next week.
Yeah.
Did Dallas win today?
Ha.
Oh, is that 6 in a row?
7.
7. Lucky number 7.
Romo's undefeated. Backups.
Backups are
Not so much.
Yeah, it's gonna be that. Remember that year when undefeated and we came in last?
Yeah, poor backup QB sitting on the bench is like, how do you know why you're on the bench? Dude, have you
I'm
even,
gonna never get a full-time job.
do you know where to put your fingers on the laces?
You lose 10-3. Your quarterback cannot score a one freaking touchdown. Yeah, you start.
Yeah.
Yeah, he deserves
Fickle
it.
fans. You're wearing your boy's shirt, and I noticed that you scratched out the letters.
That's off.
First, I thought maybe it was just because you was out weed eating again, and you tied it around your shins for protection. But
You should. You should.
Oh,
How many more seconds?
I need shin guards.
40.
What?
Still running past her.
Alright, let's talk about Masters of None then.
Master of the
Master of None.
Jack of all trades.
What?
Master of None.
What is
Master Dane Johnson. It's Aziz Ansari's new show.
Oh,
Aziz.
yeah. And this is a Netflix show.
Yeah,
it
original.
is? Yeah.
How many episodes?
10 episodes. I've watched all of them.
You watched all 10? Are they 30 minutes?
30 minutes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're bite-sized, man.
Yeah.
They're
22-minute episodes or whatever.
No, they're
Oh,
30.
they're full 30.
They're full
yeah.
30, yeah. Because it's
That's right.
much to Time Warners. Yeah, it's a really good show. It's
Is it a full sitcom type of thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's sort of it's interesting because it's funny and of course it showcases his humor, but it's very sort of like real world New York if you have people that can just uproot and go to another country without worrying about a job or anything like that. But it's sort of touching. It has the story arc is that he is he's getting to that point to where people will start settling down and start thinking about settling down and things like that. And it's really the storyline's pretty touching. I mean,
what
it's
sort
sort
of
of
reminds me of a little bit is what Wes Anderson's movies.
yeah,
A little bit.
yeah. It's very it's sort of
Funny, but
hyper real in some ways.
Yeah.
but it's very
Trying to
real.
be
poignant.
poignant, and trying to be funny at the same time. A little bit of like, the main character is always kind of hollow, It reminded me of that.
Yeah, but as it goes on, he has Aziz has a lot of depth, and he's I was sort of pleasantly surprised that it's gotten rave reviews from critics and fans alike. So it is definitely worth a watch. I hope it comes back for another season. And the way they end it, I will not spoil it, but the way the 10th episode, they set it up for another season. In a nice way.
Yeah.
It's a really cool way. It's very sort of a natural feeling to let's see what else happens.
And I feel too, they didn't have to spend a lot of money on that. Maybe other than him,
I don't
because they're just running around that one neighborhood,
pretty much. Yeah.
and there's
Brass
only like 5 or 6 really kind of mainish type characters.
Yeah.
And I think all of them he's pretty good friends with.
Yeah, and it was co-created with another guy named Alan Yang, and they're co-created, co-script writers. And I think Aziz, I can't remember off the top of my head if he directed. I know he directed several of the episodes. Yeah. He may have directed all of them. It's really good effort. I mean, that was a good buy for Netflix. I'm not sure if it's an original, so I'm not sure if it was something he was developing and they got wind of it and
they bought it.
They got into it, or if they approached. I don't know how it came
I'm sure
about.
he had an idea and then reached out. I mean, my agent, hey, I'd like to do this, shop around, see if anybody's interested in talking.
Yeah, because I think it had started working on the germ of the idea back like 2011 or something like that. So.
Did it just get released here recently? Last week?
Yeah, just last week, I think.
I don't feel like I saw a lot of ads like leading up to it. It just kind of
They bannered it when it premiered last week.
Yeah,
They bannered it on Netflix.
Well, the only thing I saw, I didn't the night before release, I saw him tweeting about the soundtrack for Master of None, and that was the first time I ever even caught a glimpse of it.
Yeah, it was. You saw it in trades, like Variety and Deadline and stuff like that. You saw mentions, but yeah, outside of that, didn't get a lot of talk, and it sort of caught everybody by surprise. I think I enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's funny.
It is funny.
What did I tweet it when it was like every show should start with a cleaning the pipes, and what was the other reference on there? I can't remember.
Breaking Common.
I don't know, something like that. It's like every show.
Bryan
should start-
Cranston and Breaking Common.
But it was good. It's funny.
It is funny. And the further they get into the episodes, like I said, man, my favorite a time of 30 minutes, 22 to 30 minutes, and you can just chew through those.
Blow through them.
I was like, because I went through them so fast, I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's 5 hours.
Back to blackness.
Yeah, jazz hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It's funny. His buddy, the real tall guy, I think
Yeah.
I'm maybe warming up to him, but he's kind of like, ooh,
He's
a little bit.
he pretty much stays the same all the way through.
It's like a walking ham sandwich kind of thing.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I recommend it.
Yeah, you should check it out, Netflix guys. Did we lose?
No, they scored a touchdown, but they failed the 2-point conversion. So 36 seconds, they're going to have to do an onside.
In 4 seconds?
In 4 seconds, they
All that
scored
happened
a
in 4
touchdown.
seconds.
Well, there was an injury, so they were trying to get the guy off the field.
And there was ads.
And there were ads. And so now they're going to have to try for the 2-point, or the onside kick. If they don't get it, Green Bay doesn't have any timeouts, so we can just knee it in and win. So we'll mess this up somehow.
Statue of Liberty play. Come on.
They should try throwing it 3 times. That's the run.
This is the longest 40 seconds.
You're telling me. I'm sitting here like
We started
trying
talking
to.
about like 15
Internet service is down.
They can eke out. Only NFL football can take 40 seconds.
So I'm gonna this week I'll churn a lot more of those out and we can talk more in depth about Master of None. But it looks good. It's funny.
Paul, you watched them all. How many have you watched? Like a couple?
I just watched 1.5. Yeah.
How can you watch a half of a 30-minute episode? What happened?
Getting ready for work.
Yeah.
Gotta go to work.
Man, you could have thrown that up on your Oculus Rift on driving into work.
No, thank you. So I finally saw something on the Oculus that it would be cool. Like they have, and it's just a commercial. It's not a real place.
RedTube.com.
It was.
I mean, YouTube Red. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah,
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I hope your wife doesn't listen to this. So it was these guys running around inside of like a big building, and it had rocks and stuff. There's, inside the building there's nothing, but in their eyes they see like all this warfare.
I saw that.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's the first use
Like
of this
ultimate
thing.
laser tag.
Right. You're running around and it's real time displaying all this. If you run into something, you actually run into it.
Yeah, but it looks like something else.
Yeah,
It's
like that.
like a giant
that
eel or something.
looks at least a little interesting. I'm not sitting in my living room with this thing strapped to my head while I watch whatever I watch.
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt.
Yeah. Master of None looks so badass in this Oculus Rift thing. I'm still not feeling it.
I saw one of the applications for like either Oculus Rift or the Samsung Gear, and it's like, oh, you can watch Netflix, and you put it on, and it's like you can see like a nice living room and a big screen TV, and it's like, I got a big screen TV.
Yeah.
Why would I do that? And then they start on ads. It's like it's just singularity.
You just get sucked in.
Yeah, and they said, well, there's posters on the wall, and they can show movies coming up and ads and stuff. No thanks.
What do I get?
Yeah.
They got the onside kick.
Yay!
How many seconds left?
23 seconds. They're on our
23 seconds?
They're on our 49.
There's
All they need is
36
a field goal.
seconds.
They're gonna, if they get a field goal, they win it.
They all you do is get another 10, 15 yards.
It's going to hit one upright, it's going to hit the other upright, it's going to hit the crossbar,
So
and then
Calvin
it's
Johnson
out.
dropped. So we have 2
Now
missed
it's
extra
20.
points in this game.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson dropped the onside kick. So it's just like everything's going Green Bay's way. I just expect them to win at this point.
Oh wait, this is not the team you're rooting for?
Right?
Oh, okay, I was like happy for you, and then I saw you cry.
All you guys do is collect number
This
one.
is live feed. There are no tears. I know.
Gonna go home and cry himself to sleep in this big
Yeah, so
pillow.
He did like that in Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs, that animated movie, that black copy. Get back up here! That's control. Duck control, level 10.
2nd and 10 on our 37. Oh my god, 8 seconds. They're probably gonna kick it from
Yeah,
here.
this is compelling.
37. That's 54 yarder.
For the win.
Oh, who's their kicker? Crosby.
Crosby. Who's just
Still
Oh, yeah.
Sebastian. So they're
that's
fucking
not a gimme,
I'm much
but
more
but he can
fun
do
of
it.
the. I like the other kicker, Crosby Young steals in that show.
Yeah. The needle, the football and the damage done.
I like it.
See how many people get that.
All right. Do you want to talk about Blacklist before the break or after?
After.
After, he says.
Daddy got a tinkle.
After he says. Well, we still got like 15, 20 minutes to go.
I mean, I don't have to. I'm just, this is the 15-minute warning.
Okay. So are you caught up on Blind Spot?
No, I have not watched this week's.
Oh,
No.
You guys were behind last time I was here.
okay.
And
I know that you had 2 weeks to catch.
That's
2
one.
weeks to catch up.
I watched the last time I was here. You guys are 2 weeks behind.
Okay.
I caught up.
This last Monday's episode, they all died.
But in the plus column, he watched 80 episodes of Archer.
Are you caught up on Blind
Yeah.
Spot? And see, Paul's not even liking it. He's just watching it for the show. We gave you 7 days.
It's one of those shows. It's not. I don't think it's bad. Oh,
Missed the field goal.
Oh! Yes!
Wasn't that long? That was
Yes!
long.
Oh, I could feel the happy vibrations coming off of you.
Alright, I'm just gonna pass out in my chair now. Oh my god.
What else is
Well, at least now Detroit is saying, well, the records are coming.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you need it's a race to the bottom. You guys should just thrown the game.
I don't know. Why?
We were doing everything we could.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Why
You
win?
may just play crap today.
Why win and get the second?
It's just so fun
Why let
to
Dallas
rub
get
it
the
in
second?
Green Bay's face. They actually have a bright future. And
Yeah, of course, the Green Bay.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they were talking up all the wins they had in a row, even
Wow.
once since '77. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Although today.
You actually haven't beat them since '77.
In Green Bay, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're the bad news bad.
But one stat today I heard that Aaron Rodgers, first game in 35 games, he had thrown a touchdown in the first half.
Wow, that's impressive.
because Detroit's got a shutdown defense.
He's just been playing gravity.
I don't really watch a lot of football anymore, so when y'all start talking stats, I'm like,
It's like your ad blocker.
Yeah.
Watch football game.
yeah. All I hear is wrong going. It sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. Is
Wah, wah,
Yes, I turned it in. Snoopy ate it.
Good animation. You going to see that?
I'm gonna take the kids
To go see Peas Nuts.
These nuts.
Peas nuts.
Did y'all hear about that guy that he was like this kid?
The Iowa kid?
Yeah, he
the
was
15-year-old.
These nuts for president.
And he was getting votes.
He was getting voted pretty high, and it's like, it's the power. That's the power of social media for you.
Right.
These Nuts. Interesting.
Ramble lad with Kimmy Schmidt.
All right, you ready to talk about public morals?
Yeah, I can talk about public morals. So.
I haven't even heard of this, and listen when he says, "Who's the main guy?"
All right, so the main guy,
Dude.
Dude guy
Dude.
is the main guy.
Well, where's this running? Is this on like Sundance or something? They're doing now episodic TV. Something.
13 and pregnant.
No, like serious.
So,
There was something I saw a preview from. I was like, that sounds interesting. I have to watch it.
Telling you drama from HGTV.
Also, my Green Bay boss, he just said to me, "I accept your resignation." So yeah, I'm looking for a job. Periscope World, looking for a job.
Yeah.
Edward Burns is the main character. Michael Rappaport is the co-lead in that. So
It's good to see that Rappaport's only making a comeback after David Caruso ruined his career.
So the show is, for those who haven't seen it, it's based in the 1960s, New York cop. You know, your very blue collar type of worker. Living in Hell's Kitchen. I want to say it's Hell's Kitchen. He's just that type of a dad.
Everything's said in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, he's that type of a dad that you just. Yeah, he doesn't want to leave. He thinks that it's building character for his kids to run into the hobos and people stabbing each other on the streets, and wife wants to leave and get out of the city. And
You are not going to build up your Twitch
No.
unless you're dodging hobos.
But I like the premise of it. I honestly wish it was on like a HBO or on a Netflix, because it's almost like the light version of what you would expect out of a show like this. Because their job is to basically be the pimps.
TNT is a little bit hold it back.
Yeah.
They're almost like NBC and TNT are kind of on par in terms of like the darkness, harshness of their shows.
So it's more like Hell's Pantry. Don't go to the kitchen with sharp objects in there. You can get burnt, oil burns and stuff.
But yeah,
Make sure you don't try to put a oil fire with water. That's all I'm saying.
Have you ever seen a video of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is intense.
The people dropping the frozen chickens into the burning pots of oil.
Oh, the deep frying.
Yeah.
Chickens. Yeah. Smart.
But yeah, the show is about them basically being the pimps for all vices in the city. So, you know, prostitution, gambling, all of those, you know, the sins, if you will, those vices that they are in charge of making sure will stop some of them. But for the most part, they just have people pay them their cut. And so that's what their entire department is basically centered around.
So brought to you by DraftKings.
So is Ed Burns, is he dirty?
Yeah, no, he's one of the cops that is
You
a
know
part
what
of
I
this
mean,
department.
too.
Yeah.
He's so dirty. He's filthy.
No, he's one of the cops, yeah. So him and Rappaport are part of those dirty cops, and he's trying to wrangle in the mob, the Irish mob that's in the city, and so
Why's it gotta be racist? Why's it gotta be Irish?
that's their
Irish
origin.
lives matter.
I am Irish, so I don't know.
Me too. That's why I take offense to this.
Brother from another mother.
What about the Scots?
Yeah.
So it's in its first season.
First season, I would think that it's gonna make it to season 2, but you know, TNT, you never know.
That's
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What TNT? Well, I don't want to. Well, Agent X. I watched the first two. They did a double. Have you seen it?
No.
It's on TNT as well,
Okay.
and it was okay, man. It was like a Jason Bourne, James Bondy kind of guy, but it's that TNT vibe. Man. I mean, their shows are very, very targeted within like how they go and the look and feel of all their shows.
Yeah, so much so that I recorded it, you know, at like the 3rd episode, but you know, the 2nd episode, I'm flicking through my TV and I'm like, what channel is that on? So I'm checking, you know, all the ones that were things like HBO, no, is this AMC? No. I'm like, I had to eventually search for it. TNT? Seriously?
Yeah.
And he didn't even have the channel number memorized. It was like,
I have no idea.
channel 629. That channel is.
TNT.
Yeah.
That's the old.
Well, that's like,
baseball.
Yeah,
channel,
I'm like,
right?
oh yeah, the Braves.
well, that's what we talked about with when we talked about that show, Mr. Robot,
Mhm.
on USA Network. It was like, I didn't even know they were still around. I thought they got out the mortgage.
Speaking of Mr. Robot, so they released on a tweet. It's a director's cut of the entire series or something
On
like that.
iTunes?
Yeah, so I'm gonna buy it on there.
Yeah, we should see it because I watched all of them on. I just recorded them. And I was what is this director's cut?
How many episodes
Is it like Blue Velvet, the director's cut?
Just a few extra stuff thrown in.
Is it hands on the ear? That's never you.
I'm thinking anything that
Get to
moves.
see the ear up close.
How many episodes is this in?
I'll say there were 10.
Yeah, 10. So it's done.
Yeah, so it's done for the season.
That's weird, because I don't think like
Pretty decent cliffhangers in it.
it says watch now on Amazon, but then it probably means you gotta buy it. Like TNT doesn't do a lot of deals with Netflix, Hulu, or anybody to.
No, they have it on demand for AT&T Uverse.
Oh,
So
that's how I'll do that. Then.
yeah, so you're able to go and find it on there, and that's how I was able to catch up on some of the episodes. Because the one thing I find is that if you forget to record it, it's like, where the hell do I find this thing? I mean, Netflix is so easy. You just go on there, search for it.
The
yeah.
pirate.
I was like, this is how we used to live. And I had,
Right.
Inventory.
That's what's coming to talk to you.
I never got all the torrent sites that I could even go to find it. Like searching through, it's like, Google, tell me where to find this for free.
And there's a ton of sites out there where they just stream stuff, but man, they're usually it's like, what is this country code? Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know, because you click on it, it's like suddenly it's like Browser has been hijacked.
It's like the boss.
Prince Ishmael.
Yeah.
Why is my laptop logging into my bank account?
Looks like a matrix up here. Oh,
Prince Ishmael needs $1,000 to send you his 10 days.
Yeah.
When's the last time you seen a command prompt pop up?
Just 1,000?
Yeah. Deal! Oh, but now we do.
So I'm gonna check this out. I'm a huge fan of Ed Burns. He self-financed and self-made his own movies and got himself into the industry.
Yeah.
So I've been a fan of his for Brothers McMullen. Remember that?
And
Yeah.
it's a very good looking girl.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you know, dude. So.
You'll have to let me know what you think about the tameness of it, the fact that they're not able to kind of.
Well, like I said, I watched that Agent X, and it's the same way. It's on TNT, and it's not. You know, there's just a line they don't cross it. There's no cursing. There's no.
Guys, we're gonna have to whack this one. Take him out there.
Just give him a good slap.
It's like
Send him on his way.
It's like Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to shoot you, and then they cut like 2 miles away.
Fear the Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead should be on TNT. But they still have some good shows on there. So I'm going to check this out. And I really enjoyed watching that Agent X. It was not over the top. It was not blah, blah, blah. It wasn't super cool. But it was like an easy watch. I enjoyed it.
I thought you said you enjoyed watching Asian X.
Yeah. Take Asian X while I watch
Oh.
While he watches Asian Triple X.
Yes.
Also known as
It's the blue tablet with Beavis and Butthead imprinted on it.
Makes me see the funny color.
It's like, and then he turns around and he sees Bill Cosby's doing it.
Yeah, the description for the show is the streets of Hell's Kitchen run red with the blood of the Irish mafia.
But we don't show you any of it.
Muldoon treats Christian to a night on the town. Duffy gets a surprising news from Deirdre.
Muldoon.
Wow, how Irish can that be?
Yeah. McGillicuddy and Muldoon.
Well,
Their adventures through
the writers, they had to go dust off the wheel of Irish names.
Where's Patty O'Brien in all this?
He's running the show. He's the bad guy, Patty O'Brien. He always is a bad
I
guy.
have a great name, Whitey Bulger. That's a really good name.
Yeah.
Also, Timothy Hutton is in it, and he's only in it for just a handful of episodes.
Yeah.
They call him Timothy Earl Hutton.
Yeah. It's just weird. It reminded me of the same way they did that in Game of Thrones, where you have, who was it that was 007 or 006? He was the dad in Game of Thrones, and he gets his head cut off.
Edward Stark? He was never in the James Bond movies.
He was struggling. He was,
The bad guy?
yeah,
He was a bad
he was
guy.
a golden.
Okay,
Yeah. So, the same idea. It was just
I thought
like,
you said that he was playing.
you're like, this guy could make buku bucks doing anything. And he comes to this for 2 episodes.
Well,
Yeah.
Hutton's had like a couple of TNT shows. And I think that Leverage and another one, I don't think they did. They went a couple seasons, I think, each one.
Were
of
they doing
them.
like a weird show like Numbers or something? I mean, not Numbers itself, but some show like that was some special team of people.
Leverage.
Oh, they were like gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special forces. Special forces of gambling.
Well, and
I want to be on that crew. Man.
well, Hutton gets a lot of jobs because, you know, when he talks, people listen.
Yeah.
But
See how many people get that one. Dig
Yeah.
it in the back. Dig it in the time vault.
There's a time vault.
The way back machine.
Yeah,
Mutual of Omaha's people.
Mutual Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Now we're going way back.
Come on, Marlon Perkins, wrestle that snake.
Was that the guy's name, Marlon?
Marlon Perkins.
Yeah, I don't think he did any snake wrestling. I think he sent Jim out. Or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. The guy that had to go do all the dangerous shit was Jim, though.
Something like that. He was a red shirt for sure.
Security Officer Jim will now wrestle 5 lions.
Jim was going to ride this
I'm gonna pick
hippopotamus across the river.
It's like that
full
horse.
of crocodiles.
It's like that poor Steve Irwin.
The
It's like,
hippopotamuses are dangerous.
They are. They're the dangerous animal.
I'm gonna pick up the stingray. I'm gonna pick up the stingray, said Steve Irwin. That's the worst thing that could happen. Shot to the heart, but you were too late.
Good guy.
American Crime is what Hutton's in right now.
Yeah, and Leverage was his show. I think it ran for like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got watching that episode. I was like, man,
I never heard of Leverage.
Leverage was
CBS
a
or
crew.
TBS or ABC?
No, it's TNT.
Was it?
He's been on TNT. I think his new one is TNT as
He
well.
must have stock.
So this this show?
5 seasons of leverage.
So it's one season and it has 10 episodes so far. I mean, not so far. That's the end of the season.
Huh.
So, yeah.
And what did you say? It was on the Home Shopping Network?
HGTV. I did the
Be
DIY.
more likely to be on there, unfortunately.
DIY.
Are you tired of watching a marathon of Property Brothers?
Yeah, they're going to flip the house or what?
It's
Fuck 'em.
first.
Yeah, you can find it between Braves games. I would certainly suggest watching it.
Do they still run Braves game on
Oh,
that?
yeah, that's.
Don't break.
Right.
Or is that TBS?
It's TBS. Yeah.
I'm less interested in baseball than I am football these
Yeah.
days. I'm out. We're at an hour. Do you want to take a break? You got to pee? You got to potty? You got to tinkle?
I think it's absorbed through.
You need to change your sack.
I
You got anything particular you want me to put on the list when we come back?
Yes.
What is it?
I'm-
Tease it.
It's
Tease
a
it.
teaser.
Scientology.
Ooh.
Dude,
This could go anywhere.
It could go anywhere.
I
So
think
it must be Tom Cruise.
I think-
one that we're
I hear the black helicopter right now.
Tom Cruise
I don't think
will
I've seen that.
He's gonna spoil our secrets.
All right, so we're teasing Scientology.
Right.
We're gonna
You're
all
not
your
a real religion.
get all your potatoes out. Get all your potatoes out. We'll come back.
I need to do this e-metering while we're on break.
So we are going to talk about Walking Dead.
Yes.
You missed the Morgan talk last week, but we are going to talk about this last episode.
Right.
I think Into the Badlands is going to be in our next one of our next
Exactly. I
shows.
have that queued up on the DVR tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I as well.
I'm going to live tweet it. I think Paul may be live tweeting tonight. Watching it. I'm pretty pumped. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's not like a big build up and it's just so-so. I hope they get the jacket thing figured out and get him in another uniform so he's not running around that heavy leather thing or whatever they got.
Yeah.
Well, when he takes the jacket off, he can jump 20 meters.
Well, he's got a little school. He's got a little school backpack.
Does he have to? I'm not sure we're watching the same show.
Frenchie, right? Frenchie.
YouTube Red. Was you there when we talked about that whole unfortunate naming for?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Walking Dead, Into the Badlands, Scientology, Blacklist when we come back. A little bit of blind spot. We'll talk about it.
That's fine. Black. You said black.
I said Blacklist.
What about the red and green list for the non-colorblind?
Yeah, I'll do that. We'll do that. And so I got a message, and there's a really good Blacklist podcast. That's all they do. Every episode they break down for an hour the Blacklist.
Yeah.
It's called the Blacklist GSM. They're
What's the blind spot?
super cool. They tweeted the other day, said, "Hey, if you want us to come on and talk about Blind Spot, the Blacklist, one of these times they join the podcast."
That'd be
So
awesome.
we'll see if maybe we can make that happen.
What is GSM?
I don't know.
Guns, surgery, and
And munitions.
oh,
Guns, surgery, and munitions.
Yes.
Guns, sex, and munitions. Gunshot wound. No, gunshot.
Goobers,
No.
sugar, and macaroni.
Yeah.
Macaroni.
Hey, back around.
French razor.
That's close. It was a good guess. All right, so we'll refresh drinks, take a break, and we'll be back in a bit.
Outside.
Excellent snooze.
Oh, my 8-point ladder hole.